الطاهرين. Mr. President, distinguished permanent representative, ladies and gentlemen, at the outset I seize this opportunity to express my gratitude to you. My appreciation also is graciously extended to distinguished members of Iran's Troika, the distinguished ambassadors of Mexico, Pakistan, and Senegal, for facilitating the review of my country's report in this session. I am confident that our dialogue today will enhance the knowledge of participants on the situation of human rights in the Islamic Republic of Iran. In our view, the culture of human rights is a core component of the common heritage of humanity. Achieving this aim requires our collective commitment and willingness to listen and learn from each other, to cooperate rather than to confront, to respect diverse cultural heritage, and to show tolerance and understanding towards cultural differences in human societies. Mr. President, to underline the utmost importance that the Islamic Republic of Iran attaches to the Council's activities, especially UPR deliberations, I am proud and honored to say that today I am accompanied by a group of distinguished and dedicated high-ranking officials, namely 2 members of the Parliament, 4 deputy ministers, and 6 high-ranking and reverend judges, and Professor Mubashiri, the Lady Chancellor of Al-Zahra University in Tehran. Also, I should point out that the national report of my country for this review has been prepared by a special committee comprising representatives from most relevant institutions with High Council of Human Rights acting as principal coordinator. The committee conducted consultation by exchanging written communications and holding meetings with relevant governmental organizations and a broad range of civil society institutions, including the members of academia, research centers, and non-governmental organizations. Mr. President, in 1979, the Islamic Revolution of Iran, led by late Imam Khomeini, turned to be the spectacular world event, and one of his major rewards for the people of Iran was the creation of a democratic polity, a democratic social and civil order based on Islamic rationality under the name of Islamic Republic of Iran. The people of Iran then voted for the new system in a national referendum with an overwhelming majority. The Constitution is a vivid proof of the sublime aspirations, ideals, and roadmap of the future of our nation. A salient feature of our Constitution is its explicit and extensive reference to all intrinsic and the main pillars of human rights. To be concrete, let me mention just a few examples. The whole Chapter 7 of the Constitution, expounding the rights of the people, and its 24 articles are completely devoted to human rights and the fundamental freedoms of people. Issues such as human dignity, political and civil rights, prohibition of depriving people of their fundamental freedoms, rights of minorities, equality before the law, women's rights, prohibition of investigation of people's beliefs, freedom of expression, respect for privacy of people, freedom of political parties and peaceful assemblies, prohibition of arbitrary detention and arrest, prohibition of banishment of people, the right to have recourse to courts, the right to choose legal counsel, the principal presumption of innocence, respect for the dignity of arrested persons, economic, social, and cultural rights, and the environmental right are duly and extensively exhausted in the Constitution. Mr. President, Constitution of the Islamic Republic of Iran, which maps with utmost care and delicacy our historical aspirational ideals, I mean building a democratic modern country based on Islamic doctrine and values, in its 6th article declares that all the major decisions in all affairs including attendance to high offices such as leadership, presidency, and membership of the parliament, should be based on the consent of the people, which is secured by their recourse to voting or referendum. The judicial system of Iran, being independent of executive and legislative branches, is based on the principles of independence, equality before law, the right to have legal counsel, presumption of innocence, prohibition of torture, open trial, impartiality of judges, no punishment for unexpressed offense by law, compensation for the error in court ruling, differentiation between political and or press offenses and ordinary offenses, and prohibition of illegal arrest. The judiciary has close cooperation with NGOs active in promotion of human rights since 1997. This cooperative relationship takes place by having consultation on the situation of vulnerable segments of the society, including women, children, and the disabled. The judiciary has benefited from their assistance in organizing international training workshops and their participating in related international meetings. In line with the duties assigned to the judiciary by the Constitution, in year 2001, head of the judiciary issued a directive for the establishment of the High Council of Human Rights for the purpose of creating better coordination between the relevant organizations. Later in year 2005, the Council was chosen as the government's highest institution in charge of supervision, monitoring, and guidance of different sections on human rights. It enjoys the constant participation of 5 ministers, Chief Justice of High Court, Prosecutor General, the head of police, the head of prison administration, as well as lawyers and scholars representatives. Mr. President, Iran, as a founding member of United Nations and party to the major international human rights instrument, while upholding the promotion of principles enshrined in its constitution and while ensuring its full compliance with the relevant international commitments, has taken a genuine and long-term approach to safeguard human rights. Iran regards human rights education as a key component of the national strategy for the promotion and protection of human rights. Its connection, the capacity building programs for promotion of human rights and greater access to justice are being implemented in cooperation with the United Nations Development Programme in 5-year period from year 2005 to year 2009. Teaching the principles of human rights in universities, conducting applied research and studies thereto, providing software and hardware equipment for human rights institutions, exchange of knowledge and experiences are among programs that are being constantly implemented. Mr. President, there are ample evidences and facts and figures indicating achievement in civil, political, economic, social, and cultural rights in my country. But for the sake of brevity, I refrain from mentioning them all. I will ask my colleagues, however, to refer to some of them in their intervention during this meeting. But there is a fact which I am reluctant to pass by without mentioning. Iran is a land with diverse ethnic and religious communities that have long lived in peaceful brotherhood while retaining their different traditions, customs, and languages. The Iranian society is a successful model of brotherly and amicable coexistence. One of the principal objectives of the government is to enhance and consolidate this relationship to ensure that all nationals of the country enjoy the same necessary infrastructure for growth, irrespective of their ethnic and racial backgrounds. The government has undertaken several projects to generate employment, provide health service, education, housing, and to promote their civil and political rights. These projects are designed to improve the economic, social, cultural indicators in less developed areas of the country. In addition, some provinces of the country with larger concentration of ethnic communities received a special budgetary allocation in the annual budget to be spent on human development. Mr. President, while making the utmost effort to promote the nation's prosperity and well-being, Iran is facing some adverse challenges too. First, with the victory of the Islamic Revolution, the situation of human rights has consistently been used as a political tool to apply pressure against us and to advance certain ulterior political motives by some specific Western countries. Moreover, Iran has consistently faced serious problem of terrorism supported by certain foreign countries too. Iran has been one of the main victims of terrorism in the world after September 11 that led to the invasion of foreign troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. The presence and operations of terrorist groups in the eastern, western and southern borders of Iran increased considerably. During the last 3 decades, terrorist groups have killed, threatened and abducted thousands of Iranian ordinary citizens, including women and children, and proceeded to plunder public and private properties. Just last month, a Nobel physicist, Professor Ali Mohammad, was assassinated in front of his house while bidding farewell to his wife by a suspicious terrorist group who enjoys the generous hospitality of a Western capital and the full collaboration of Zionist terrorists. This situation has placed a heavy responsibility on the shoulder of the government to put an end to this dreadful challenge. Second, over the recent years, especially after the invasion of coalition forces to Afghanistan, production and trafficking of narcotic drugs have increased several folds, posing serious threats to the security and the health of the people of Iran. For this reason, please note, for this reason, over the recent years, close to 70% of sentences in Iranian courts were related to drug offenses and armed outlaws engaged in trafficking of illicit drugs. Unfortunately, our very costly and life-consuming efforts to prevent the flood of drugs going to Europe are not adequately appreciated and are not supported financially and technically. Third, imposing unilateral and coercive sanctions by certain Western countries for purely political reasons, as well as ongoing sanctions resulting from the political actions of the same countries at the UN Security Council, have had a negative impact on the realization of all aspects of human rights of the Iranian citizen, especially the right to decent development over the recent years. To give an example, the ban on the sale of passenger aircraft and civilian aviation and non-provision of spare parts have caused the deaths of hundreds of people in Iran's plane crash. Mr. President, the Islamic Republic of Iran has extended continuous and full cooperation to the then Center for Human Rights and Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights. To this end, a general standing invitation has been forwarded to all thematic rapporteurs, working groups as well as independent experts of Human Rights Council. Accordingly, the Special Rapporteur on right of to freedom of opinion and expression, the Special Rapporteur on the situation of human rights in Afghanistan, the Working Group on Arbitrary Detention, the Special Rapporteur on Human Rights of Migrants, the Special Rapporteur on Violence Against Women, and Special Rapporteur on Adequate Housing, all undertook visits to Islamic Republic of Iran. In addition to above-mentioned visit, there are plans under consideration for visit of other rapporteurs. Also, providing thorough and timely responses to communications which have been delivered by mandate holders has constantly been followed by the Islamic Republic of Iran in the mentioned field. The Islamic Republic of Iran's general, as well as periodical reports to the Committee on Rights of the Child and Elimination of Racial Discrimination, have been submitted in timely manner and presented and elaborated successfully. Consequently, the concluding observation of of the respective monitoring treaty bodies were communicated to relevant national institutions and government entities. Furthermore, it is worth mentioning that the second periodic report of Islamic Republic of Iran to the International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights and the third periodic report on International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights have been submitted to respective bodies in November 2009. Mr. President, the Islamic Republic of Iran has played a significant role in all UN-sponsored human rights international conferences and meetings, which led to Iran's qualitative and conceptual contribution to the international process of human rights standard setting and literature. Our human rights policy has continuously emphasized the significance of interactive and cooperative approach in the promotion and protection of human rights as stipulated in the purposes and principles of the UN Charter, as well as the avoidance of confrontation, double standard, politicization. Iran's firm commitment for the promotion and protection of human rights includes, inter alia, undertaking of measures leading to further convergence of values and principles held by various countries with different cultural, social and historical backgrounds on human rights questions. To this end, while enjoying a rather rich and ancient cultural heritage and civilization enriched by values and standards rooted in the Islamic belief and perceptions, Iran strongly advocates the human dignity and integrity. Accordingly, it has undertaken some measures with a view to facilitating cooperation amongst different countries in the field of human rights. The Islamic Republic of Iran is fully convinced that politicization, selective approaches, and application of double standards significantly impede the genuine promotion of human rights. As also stipulated in Vienna Declaration and Promotion of Action VDPA 1993, to this end, the Islamic Republic of Iran's important and practical contribution was realized in the context of two resolutions entitled Enhancement of International Cooperation in the Field of Human Rights and Human Rights and Unilateral Coercive Measures, which were adopted by the General Assembly in 1996. The said resolution has been adopted as a common initiative of non-aligned movement in UN General Assembly 2. The Islamic Republic of Iran has presented the resolution entitled Human Rights and Cultural Diversity in the year 2000. Ever since it has been adopted as consecutive session of United Nations General Assembly. The said resolution effectively contributed to the elaboration and follow-up of the concept of cultural diversity with a view to the fact that the promotion of mutual recognition and understanding in cultural and social fields through exchange of views and discourse is a prerequisite to interaction and continuous cooperation for achieving the common objectives of genuine promotion and protection of human rights. The Islamic Republic of Iran has presented the said resolution in order to help provide a conceptual framework within the United Nations system to serve as a basis for convergence of different perceptions in the field of human rights at the international level. In this regard, the initiative of the Islamic Republic of Iran to hold a ministerial conference of the non-aligned movement on human rights and cultural diversity held in Tehran September 2007, and the decision by NAM Minister to establish a NAM Center for Human Rights and Cultural Diversity in Tehran was intended to present a unique opportunity for exchanges of ideas and views on the sensitive issues relating to human rights, cultural diversity, and establish a framework for promoting respect for cultural diversity and institutionalizing intellectual dialogue in the field of human rights. Mr. President, thank you very much. Mr. President,
Your Excellency, before you give the floor to other members of your delegation, may I remind all speakers of the importance to deal with human rights issues with dignity and respect and to adhere to the well-established principles of the United Nations. Your Excellency, I give you the floor back now.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. If you permit me, I would like to ask Mrs. Alia, a prominent member of our parliament, a member of the Commission on Foreign Affairs and Defense, also head of the Special Committee of Human Rights in the Parliament. She wants to give a brief report of the activity of our Parliament in the area of human rights.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. جناب آقای رئیس، خانم ها و آقایان، مجلس شورای اسلامی در طی 3 دهه گذشته نقش مؤثری در تحقق و ارتقای حقوق بشر و استانداردهای زندگی داشته است. این مهم علاوه بر
Excuse me. We have no interpretation, at least yet. Excuse me.
ترجمه نمیشه.
Can you hear me now? One, two, three.
جناب آقای رئیس، خانم ها و آقایان، مجلس شورای اسلامی در طی 3 دهه گذشته
In the past 10 years, the Iranian parliament has played a key role in the realization and promotion of human rights and standards of living. This is in addition to general oversight and special investigations that fall within the purview of the Commission on Article 90. The Parliament's activities are carried out through legislations, new programs, and deliberations on the human rights laws offered by the Cabinet. Today, women hold many prominent positions in the Islamic Republic of Iran, which include 8 members of Parliament, 2 vice presidents, several presidential advisors, 1 minister, and several deputy ministers. Approved legislations of the Parliament relating to the promotion of human rights include the following: respect for legitimate freedoms and protection of citizenship rights, protection of the rights and duties of women in national and international arenas, protection of the rights of children and young adults, the press law, the establishment of dispute settlement councils, amendment of the law of criminal procedure, equalization of the blood money of Muslims with members of religious minorities, combating human trafficking, protection of the disabled, establishment of the comprehensive social security system, amendment of the law allowing the wife of the deceased person to inherit both movable and immovable property, adding articles to the Islamic Penal Code concerning offenses resulting from insults to Iranian ethnic communities, support for the establishment of NGOs, protection for the disabled and women heads of household, payment of unemployment insurance, and safeguarding of social security. Programs and legislation under examination by the Cabinet and Parliament relating to promotion of human rights include the following: protection of children and juveniles without guardians, alternative dispute settlement mechanisms, and decriminalization of certain offenses, review of the authority of judges in issuing verdicts, the new law on Islamic Penal Code, the procedural code of the administrating tribunal, criminal prevention, reform of the judicial organization of the Ministry of Justice, reform of the organization of the juvenile courts, protection of children and young adults, protection of the victims of crimes, promotion of public participation for protection of the victims of crimes, and laws relating to organized crimes. Here I would make reference to the human rights structures of the Parliament. One, the Human Rights Committee, which is tasked with the examination of human rights issues on the national and international level. Two, the Commission on Article 90. According to Article 90 of the Constitution, the Commission is responsible for the examination of public complaints relating to the actions of the Parliament and other governmental organizations. Three, the Judicial and Legal Commission, the commission comprising the Committee on Public and International Law, the Committee on Private Law, and the Committee on Criminal Law, is responsible for all legislation relating to judicial and legal issues, including those pertaining to human rights. These three structures point to the elevated role of the Parliament in the arena of human rights.